It's time on our Cable's Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We are joined by Marcia Davalos. She is with the Small Business Majority, which is what?
We are a national, nonpartisan, nonprofit that is focused on advocacy for small business and small business owners. So all sorts of issues that are important to small business owners are important to us.
Right now, small businesses, and a little less now than maybe a year ago at this time, a little nervous about the Affordable Care Act. Not really sure how the Affordable Care Act would impact small business. What can you tell us about that?
Right. Well, there's a lot of misinformation out there. And just for starters, really important to know that businesses that have less than 50 employees don't have to worry about any sort of a compliance.
There's no mandate, and there won't be. I mean, under the Affordable Care Act, it's not being phased in.
No.
Under 50.
If they offer insurance, they can continue to offer insurance. If they don't, they don't have to worry about it. But very interesting to note that 96% of all businesses in the state of California and United States, because California actually mimics country numbers, have less than 50 employees. So really, this mandate, that the employer mandate, really stands to impact a very, very small proportion of businesses in California.
Right. The good news is, though, is that if a small business does want to cover, there are tax credits.
Correct.
Tell us about that.
There are tax credits that are available for businesses that have less than 25 employees, that have health insurance, that have average annual wages of less than $25,000, and the employer has to cover at least 50% of the premiums of those employees.
What about the notion of employee choice? Because that always, that's a sore spot for many.
Employee choice is huge, and it's one of the biggest benefits of this new SHOP market, which is the Small Business Health Options program that's offered through Covered California. Employee choice means that an employer gets to pick the tier of coverage and the amount that they want to contribute. And then the employee gets to pick who their provider is. Very different than the way that the small group market worked before.
I understand that with the Small Business Majority, you focus upon Latino outreach. So I want to talk generally about Latinos, specifically here in California with Covered California. In the early days of the exchange, Latinos were not signing up in relation to their proportion of the demographic here in California. What was happening?
Well, a lot of different things, but really, mainly, this is a huge change. It's taken a lot of outreach and education to really get the word out, to educate people on what this new healthcare law is.
But what's stunning is, if I may say, y'all got the word out, because by the deadline, March 31st, Latino numbers were about at population levels in this state.
Exactly.
How did that happen?
I guess the one thing that I can attribute that is to Latino time. Right?
Meaning?
Meaning that they're a little slow to come to the table,
Latino
but
time. I got it.
They are there. They definitely get there. So they came in right as open enrollment was closing. But really, in all seriousness, that had a whole lot to do with the outreach that was done. At the beginning, a lot of the language and terminology that was being used was very foreign.
And I know, when you talk to the mujeres, which are kind of the heads of the household, the ladies of the household, I mean, they needed to be on board.
Exactly.
Without the mujeres, you weren't going to have anyone signing up for Covered California.
And you just hit a major point right there, which is, outreach specifically to female Latinas. And, we know who's making the decisions in the household as it comes to healthcare, right? So really doing specific targeted outreach to females and making sure that there are women out there that are speaking to them in their language and really making in a very culturally sensitive and culturally appropriate, approach.
She is Marcia Davalos. She is with the Small Business Majority. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's time on our Cable's Local Edition.